Okay, so go to the Excel and make the file save as with extension of XLSM. Go to the file which you're working on, the Excel. It's already opened, I think, if I'm not wrong. Or create a new Excel also. So just go to your start menu, go to the Excel.
This is the one.
Yeah, go to file, save as. So from the drop down, you can see macro enabled, extension as XLSM.
Okay.
In the beginning, in the second one, can you see? Macro
Enable
enabled.
Excel. Okay.
That's save as. So this file will be having the extension of XLSM because this is specifically for running the macros. Okay. Now come back to the code part and select this file with the Excel applications. Drag and drop Excel application scope and choose this file. Drag and drop Excel application. It's already there, right? Yeah. Drag and drop it and choose the file path of the file which we have created just now.
So there are two here. One is macro enabled, I guess.
Not sure. See the file extension, like see the extensions there. So go scroll it towards the right side and see. No, yes, that's a file, the one which you selected. Yeah, that's macro enabled. Selected. Yes, this is the one. Okay, so now we're gonna create some function with parameters, and then we're gonna see how we're gonna run it with the macros. Okay, now come back to the Excel. Okay, press Alt F11.
If I'm not wrong, I think yesterday we did this, right?
Yes. Okay, so now right click over the sheet one. Can you see? Which has been highlighted? Yes, which has been highlighted. Sheet one.
Okay.
So right click over there. Insert module. So this is what where we're gonna create the functions. Okay. So now type function space macro one. Okay. So circle or just click enter. Okay. Type MSG box or use control space. Yes. Space in between double quotes. You can say macro without parameters. Macro run without parameters. Okay. Now do control A, control C. Okay, so just after end function, just place your mouse cursor and then press enter key. Enter, paste now, and change macro 1 to macro 2. Change macro 1 to macro 2. And in between the circle brace, type message MSG as MSG space AS space string. So this is a parameter, okay, as string space string, okay. I think you have to do a backspace. The circle brace has to be closed. No, after the string, just delete key once. Close it. Close the circle space and give a space between as and string. Okay, so now macro without parameter. Click OK. Press delete key.
Okay.
Now click on macro with parameters, highlight that and delete. Remove the double quotes also. That's also start. Type MSG here. So what message you're gonna pass? The same message it's gonna execute. Okay.
Double quote is not required, right?
It's not required. It's a
Okay.
variable, right?
Okay.
Argument. So no, it's not required. Okay. Third one, copy the same thing. And in the next one, so a function with return type. Okay. So after that macro 2 in the end, can you see in the end? In the end, yes. Space AS string. AS space string. Okay, so remove the message box and MSG. Both. MSG box also to be removed. Type macro 2 equal to. Okay, so in between double quotes, type macro with return type. Space. After the double quotes, give a ampersand. Ampersand space MSG. Okay, so these three things we're gonna execute and check. Okay, do a control S and now come back to UiPath. Okay, so on the left side, clear the search. So just scroll your cursor, just collapse everything. Okay, under processing, can you see execute macro? Drag and drop inside the do activity. Under available, expand available, expand app integration and Excel under that. App integration, Excel and processing. Can you see execute macro? Drag and drop it. So here you have to give the macro name. So in between double quotes, give macro 1. So which is without parameters. Okay. So next, drag and drop one more execute macro. And in that, you have to give macro 2. So for this one, we were passing the parameter. Okay. So on the right side, can you see macro parameters for execute macro?
Yeah.
Yes. So the values are intaken in the format of array. Okay. So next to that, can you see a 3-dot button? Click on that. So in between curly brace, so in between double quotes, you can give the message that has to be printed in the message box. Okay, so click OK. So now drag and drop one more execute macro, and this time it is macro 3. So this one will return back a value. Okay, macro 3. Yeah, the right side, same way, you have to pass a parameter to that. So in between the curly brace, you can click demo. Okay, click OK. So the right side, can you see macro output? Create a variable there because our macro of the last one has a return type. Okay, so create a variable and then use a write line to print that message. Now run the file. Remove OT map. Yes, control space. Declare the proper name or refer it once again. What is the variable that you created? Okay, so it is the object. You have to use .toString. I said right. Anything if you want to verify, you can go to the variables and see what is the data type of the variable that you've created. Go to variables. Variables. Yes. So the data type is object. Okay, because output can be of any data type. So the exact value is looking for. So that's the reason it came out as an object. Okay. So now run the program. Have you given the correct path? Did you save the macro and close it? And the setting has been done right to the same machine. Go to the Excel. Can you close all Excels apart from the one which you're working on? Can you close all the Excels
Yes.
apart from the ones which you're working on? You didn't give the proper name. It was supposed to be macro 3. You were having the name as macro 2 only. Okay, close all the Excels and open back the test file once again. So all the files are closed. Okay, so change the macro 2 to macro 3. Not that one, the last one.
I think that's fine.
Yes. Save it. And then now run the code. Go to the Excel. Can you see the pop-up appearing? So it was the message box. Okay, the first macro. Second one with the message which you have passed it. Third, we did not come back to the UI path for the message. Click OK. So you have to change to macro 3 that. Click on 3 and click on continue. In the top, can you see a play button? Yes, click on that.
Okay.
Go to the output and see if the output is being generated for the same.
Go content demo.
Okay, clear. So you have passed the value and the value has been concatenated with the value which is already provided there and then given you as an output. Clear? Any doubts from anyone? So you have a limit up to 30 parameters you can add it up, not more than 30. So the limitation is you have 30 parameters can be added up when you're calling this function. Okay. So now, can you clear the cells in the left? Okay. So next one is autofill range. So before I'm working through it, let me give an example how exactly it works. Can you come back to the Excel, Vijay?
Anyhow, it will be get updated.
Can you go to the Excel page?
We need not to change, right? You already finalized.
So can you populate some values here? That's fine. Duplicates also it's fine. Just want to.
That you will take care. Yeah.
Need the rows also.
In the hours column, I just highlighted. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So now these are the values are there.
I didn't get exactly.
So now what you have to do is autofill. Autofill how it will working is. So we have a source cell value. We're gonna replicate the same cell values to the bottom rows. Okay, for that we will be using this autofill. Okay, so in the E2 cell, place your cursor in E2. That means column E, second cell. Okay, press equal to B2 minus A1. Sorry, B2 minus A2 minus A2. Okay, press enter. So now click on the cell once again, not in the edit mode, just highlight it. So move your cursor towards the right side and slowly inside the cell only to the end of right side bottom.
Fine.
No, I said to the bottom, not to the up. Just double click on that. No, it doesn't need to do anything. Just double click on that. Which when I say, just listen to that. Okay. So this we call it as autofill range. So we have a source cell. From the source cell, we're gonna replicate the same thing to the below rows. So we call that as that means we call this as autofill range. Okay. So in this scenario, if you see E2 cell is your source cell, and the destination is always starts along with the source cell only, because even for the autofill range we used C, so that means E2 along with the other cells. Then only it was able to fill it up. Okay. So now the same thing we're gonna use it in the Excel method. Okay. Can you come back to UiPath? Okay. So here, can you see autofill range? Drag and drop it. So here you have to give the source cell. So as I said, E2 is your source. In between double quotes, type E2, the source range. Okay, in the destination cell. So in between two double quotes, E2 comma E4. E2 colon E4. Not semicolon, colon. I said single double quotes, not double quotes. Can you remove one from each end? One double quotes is more than fine. Double quotes, not single quotes. Remove the single quotes there, which you have given below E. Okay, sounds good. So now you have to give the sheet name in the right side. So since it is the same sheet, so it doesn't need to modify anything. If there is any sheet changes, you have to modify that. Okay. Next, can we see copy paste range, drag and drop it? So this copy paste range is just copying a range of cell values and you're gonna paste it in a destination. So that's what it is all about. Okay. So now to do that, we have to give the destination cell. Okay, suppose A from A workbook to B workbook, we are passing up the values. So what you can say is the start cell. That means the source range will be a certain range values you can pick it up. How it will be is. So the source range in the right side, just give A2 to A4 in between double quotes, A2 colon A4. Click OK. So now to which workbook path location, that means to the which sheet, sorry, in this one workbook path location does works, to which worksheet it's getting updated. So now you have to give the sheet name. So what is the sheet name you can provide and which is the start cell value to start from where it has to be filled, pasted. So now you can give a different sheet name. If the sheet name is not there, create a sheet name and then provide it to.
Here.
There you have to give the sheet name, and
Okay.
above there we have to give the cell address from where, from which will be the starting point for the data table value to be filled in your Excel. Do you have sheet 2 in your Excel? Let's check it out. Okay, click on add. Okay, so now come back. So change the sheet name to sheet 2. Give a cell value in the destination. Just type A1 in between double quotes or A10 or whatever it is. Okay, so now the sheet will be copied from one and then pasted in the next one. Okay, so that means the destination, which cell it is, from there the values will be filled up. Okay, so now insert columns and insert rows. Can you drag and drop it? Which does both the activities, that means insert as well as delete. So both has the same syntax. So if I take you through one, that should be more than fine. Okay. So here, how many columns you want to create and what would be the index of the column? Okay. So next one is you have to give in the right side, add or delete. Okay. So based on that, the row and columns will be inserted. So we can't make anything in between. So whatever happens, it will be happening in the beginning. Okay, so based on the number of, see, can you see number of columns, number of rows? That means which position you're updating the XSL values. Did you run it? Can you run? So when you run in the right side, can you see the change mode? So if I say
Right.
add, it will be adding the column. If I say delete, remove, that means it will be removing the column. So how many number of columns you want? One. At which position? That means after the first column, the first position I want to occupy. So you can make a run and check it out whether it's working or not.
Can you run from this activity?
Yeah, no, it should be
Right.
coming from Excel application scope only. Otherwise, you can practice on. So this will be affecting the Excel. So I have to open the Excel and see that. Okay, clear. One thing, you can take this sheet for the inserting columns and inserting rows and give the position where the cell address values are available so that you can clearly see how it works. Okay. Now come back to UiPath Studio. Okay, so next one is insert delete rows, also the same way. So how we did for the columns, the same way you can do for the rows also. Okay. So next one is lookup range, drag and drop lookup range. So this will help you to find the cell value from a particular column or any table like that. Okay. So first thing what we have to give is sheet name, in which sheet the data is getting saved. Okay, so now in the right side you have to give the address value where the values are present. Give a value that has to be searched in the column in between double quotes. Otherwise, cancel this in the properties you can fill. That's fine. See, when I say cell address, it should be giving a combination of alphabetical and the number format. Yeah, that's good.
Value to be searched.
Give a value. Suppose you have any values in that within the range. So give it in this way. Give the range as A2 to A4. So if instead of A3, A2 to A4, and give a value which has been listed down in between A2 to A4. Okay, so now the lookup range will give you the value of the row index. So with that, you will be able to furnish the details. Okay, so here lookup range will give you the results, exact results as per the column. Okay, so you can give a try. So if it is yes, in the right side, it's a Boolean value, which should give you a true or false value for that. Okay. So next, drag and drop, remove duplicate range. Okay, so this will just remove the duplicates and give you some output. So on the right side, it is there. Okay, so you have to give the exact range or the column, which you, sorry. So A2 to A4, that means within A1 to A4, if there is any duplicates, that alone will be removed. Okay. So now if you run, it should be removing the duplicates if there is anything. So now next step would be what? Remove duplicates, lookup range. So I think we have to see invoke BPA, right? So drag and drop invoke BPA, press Alt F11. Okay. So now invoke VB is nothing but similar to execute macro, whereas the macros are internal within the file. This one is external outside the file. That's a major difference. Okay, so you have to choose the macro file. So the one which we have, we can throw it up. Can you go to the Excel where we have created the macro file?
Shall I select this?
No, no, it is a code file. I said go for the Excel where we have created the macros. Go to that particular page. Alt F11. Okay, so on the right side, the module is there, right? Right click the module. Do one thing, right click the module I said in the left side. Right click the module.
Doing nothing.
So when I say here it is.
Yeah.
Can you go to insert module? Okay. So now type function invoke macro message box invoke macro. Okay, just give a message box invoke macro test activity. No, it should be placed in between double quotes. Any activity text apart from variables you have to place in between the double quotes only, except numbers. Now save the file and close it.
Close this.
Okay, so on the left side, can you see module 2? Right click the module 2. Can you see export file? Yeah, click on that. Go to desktop and save. Okay, so now it has been saved. So the file name is invoke macro. Can you go there now?
This
Okay,
one.
so now you
Module first.
run it. Yes, so that's going to be your file input. So can come back to UiPath and select the file. So only thing is the module which is you are calling externally. So same module shouldn't be present in the ones which we have. Okay.
Okay.
That means inside us macro 1, macro 2, macro 3 we have, right? So if there is same name we have used, then it will be an error. Okay. So now save this. So this is how it runs. So on the right side, you can take the output value. Okay. So that's all about that. So it's clear. Any doubts?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Sounds clear. So next we're gonna see about table topics. Okay. Or do you want to practice on this and then we will step into table? What do you say, guys? So wanna take a practice because Excel plays a major role. That's the reason I'm taking it slowly.
Okay.
So you guys can practice on today with activities that you have learned so that tomorrow we can start with table.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah, because Excel, right? So we use it most of the time. So we should be very much aware of those topics. That's the reason. Okay. Guys, practice on this topic. So tomorrow we are good with go to timetable. Okay. That means table activities.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
Logan,
Yeah, I'm
can
there.
you be on the call and others can disconnect it?
Yes.